back to another Cask and Point review. Today we are doing another sample Sunday, and we are drinking some Joseph Magnus Special Release number 4. Now, if you don't know much about Joseph Magnus, their big thing, in my opinion, is their cigar blend, and it's all due to the mastery of their lovely master distiller, Nancy Fraley, who is one of the most revered, respected master distillers, I think, in the entire industry. She's just a master blender, especially. Those cigar blends are mixing, all these different ranges of years of whiskey, finished whiskeys, and she's making an end product that people have grown to absolutely love and continue to spend I believe it's $185 MSRP on it now. But something she has done also on the side is make some special releases. And so Joseph Magnus Special Release commands an MSRP in that same range, about $180 to $200. And this is Special Release number 4, the one that just came out. And it mixes an 8-year and 17-year whiskey that has been confirmed to be MGP, so obviously out of Indiana. And then it was finished for several months in Calvados barrels, which is actually an apple brandy. And then it was also designed to be rested for 4 to 5 weeks after it was done with all the blending. Like, it sat in the vat, I imagine, and just kind of oxidized for 4 or 5 weeks and opened up, and then it was bottled, which is super interesting because for the Elijah Craig C923 laser code theorists here that believe that kind of vat oxidization actually makes a big difference on the whiskey, which we have no reason to believe it wouldn't. It's pretty interesting here that they did this on purpose. But today we're reviewing Joseph Magnus. I always, whenever I say Joseph Magnus, think, that I'm going to say Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend, but it's not Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. It's Joseph Magnus Special Release number 4. Now, I did find this in a store, actually, for $179.99, but it was actually under a tag that said $109.99, and I think this tag, I'll put a photo on this one, because I think I took a photo when I was in the store, but I'm pretty sure it was like for some rum, and I thought I had found the jackpot. So I grabbed all 4, I went to the cash register, and then they rang it up, and it said $179.99, and then I was sad, because, that's still a good price on it, and actually, I left them, and then the next day they were all sold out of them, so somebody did come out and buy all of them at that price, but I thought I had found the find of my life, but I didn't. But anyways, let's see how good this is here. Oh, getting a lot of fruit on this one. Definitely seeing the apple brandy, almost like a chocolatey note on this one. With the apple, there's a little bit of red plum and cherry. Definitely some spice. Definitely some red currant and black currant on this. Definitely getting these, like, the grape forward brandy notes. There's a little bit of ethanol heat on this. Now, I have let this air out for about 20 minutes, and it also was open in a bottle for, to my understanding, a couple of weeks. This was sent to me by a good friend of mine, Pete Moss, so thank you, Pete. But this is interesting. There isn't one particular flavor that really jumps out of me. Like, I'm not absolutely blown away by this nose. This isn't something that I want to really smell for, 20, 30, 40 minutes on end, so it's not winning a ton of points on the nose. But it's certainly indicating that there's a certain complexity here. And I'm not the biggest brandy fan. I'm not the biggest cognac fan, which is a kind of brandy. And so, I'm always a little bit hesitant when I try these Armagnac finishes and cognac finishes and brandy finishes, which we've been doing a lot of recently, funny enough. Let's see how this pour turns out. Wow. It's fruity. A lot of those flavors are coming through. The apple, the blackcurrant, the spice. There's like a little bit of anise, a little bit of pepper, some oak, but not much, like a sweet oak. And actually, right now, it's actually turning into a super, super sweet and toasty oak. Marshmallow. There's still a ton of caramel on this. Green apple. Getting really a grape note, some red plum. Wow. The toasted oak is still going. That is really interesting. When I tried Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend, I tend to rate it around an 8. I've tried 3 different batches, and they've all been between 7.7 and 8.1. And this one here is definitely batting in that ballpark, but it's very different. I think Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend, I get far more berries as the fruitness profile there, where this is giving me a lot more apple and kind of green fruit here. But it smells good and it tastes really nice. I mean, this is going to be somewhere, I think, in the low 8s, but we're going to take another sip here before we rate it. Yeah. A bit more oak on that second sip. There's apple. It's kind of like a complex, like a green apple mixing with like a caramelized, like almost like a candy green apple with some toasted oak and marshmallow on the side, with a little bit of oak, a little bit of kind of cherry, red plum, blackcurrant, and then there's like that anise, that nutmeg, the butterscotch, toffee, clover, kind of the clove notes. There is a lot going on in that whiskey. That is incredibly complex. It's not giving me a ton of punch, but it's balancing the flavors really well. And I mean, this is the kind of thing where, if I had to think what would be better in this whiskey, I would think, the flavors can always last a little bit longer. I'm really just getting toasted oak that's going on forever, but the fruity flavors are dying out in a couple of seconds. So that could have been a little bit longer. I think I could have just gotten a lot more punch here. But this is batting in the 8s for sure. I'm actually thinking closer to mid-8s now, so I'm going to have to take another sip here to really give a good number here. But this is impressive. This is why we do the reviews with 1 ounce. Half an ounce works sometimes, but I always like to have a full ounce if possible. But I never need 2. Two is a lot to review whiskeys. You just need 1. One gives you plenty. Let's take this third sip here and see. It's a great whiskey. It shows you the masterful blending. There's clearly old whiskey. There are some herbal notes and floral notes that I'm also getting on this, and that is going to be that MGP standard profile there that's definitely coming through a little bit, but there's so much sweetness coming in from that Calvados finish. That's a really nice whiskey. I am somewhere in 8.4 to even up to 8.6 range. I'm thinking about the things that I've tried that are 8.5, 8.6, and I just think this one is probably losing it on the finish, just because that finish just isn't giving me nearly as much as I want. I am actually going to finish this sample, but right now it's 8.3, 8.4, maybe 8.5. This is a really nice whiskey. It's, I think, totally worth $180, $200. I think secondary on it isn't too strong. I think for a bit it was trading near 300, but it's probably a little bit lower now that it's, it's been about a month or 2 since it's released. So, it's settled down a little bit. And by the time you guys see this video, it may have even been a little bit longer. But I'll take this one final sip, and then we're going to give it a rating, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah. 8.4. 8.4. That's a great whiskey with a ton of sweetness. There's even a lot of barrel char on this sip with the toasted oak, but I'm still getting, the green apple is still there. The plums are still there. There are so many different flavors to dissect on this one. Really an amazing job. Shows you how good blending can be. Well done, Nancy Fraley. I heard she did a Still Austin pick recently, and she's just been doing amazing things. Clearly, Joseph Magnus knows what they're doing. They charge a lot of money for their bottles, and look, it's tough sometimes to spend $200 on a bottle, but if you find this for MSRP, I would get it. I think truly holding its own and giving you so much interesting flavor here. And it's unique. It's also winning points on unique. In fact, do I want to up it to 8.5? I'm close. No, I'll leave it at 8.4 for now. I think 8.4 is a fair rating. It's a great rating. It's a great whiskey. I think if I ended a week by drinking that, that's the culmination of a great week. But with that, I hope you all enjoyed the review. Hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I will catch you all in the next one.